Important. Okay, and screen share. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, everyone. So welcome. I am so excited that you are choosing to put your time aside to be here. And I am excited for every one of you from wherever you are in the world. And you'll see in the chat, I'll have asked you to tell us where you're from. So thank you for choosing to be here. I'm excited. This is Creating Conscious Spaces, and I am the founder of Creating Conscious Spaces. So how can you create a happy, balanced life? Well, you're going to follow what I call the CCS proven system. It's hosted by myself, Lisa Bennett. I am the Space Whisperer, and I've been doing this for a long time. So I want you to stay till the end for the Q&A, and I want you to feel free. If you are a note taker, please take notes because you're going to hear little gems. And before we dive into tactics, I want you to know a little bit about myself and a little history about what qualifies me to deliver this life-altering information. So hi, I'm Lisa. I've dedicated over 20 years of my life to helping people just like you who get comfortable setting up their home for a life of happiness and abundance. Over the years, I have had the honor to work with over 1,000 people worldwide, teaching them to be confident and feel empowered with any space they choose to live and work. So, as a little girl, I always had an interest in physical spaces, and they just energetically spoke to me. I was always exposed to beautiful spaces, art, antiques, all of which gave me great information. And in my early 20s, I moved across the country. I live in Canada, and I focused on my other love of the arts, marketing, and then working in media for the 1988 Olympics. I always had friends who asked me to renovate and organize their spaces. And I studied just because it was just like I needed to do something. So I studied decorating, interior, exterior design, and eventually found the study of energy with feng shui and became a master. But that doesn't stop there. I wanted to be taken seriously, and I believe that a label, as in a feng shui master, would bring clarity to what I've always intuitively been doing. Fast forward, I had two major wake-up calls. First, my marriage of 28 years ended abruptly, and 3 years later, I had a near-death experience. The universe was definitely talking to me. So I quickly sold my family home and moved into a friend's home where I recovered for over 10 months. And in that time, I lived in a very small room in her home with my dog and went into a deep depression. I wondered what I was going to do for the rest of my life. I was as low until one day a friend asked me to host a radio show. And I remember saying this, what would I talk about? And she said, spaces and how they contribute to people's lives. Well, 300 plus radio shows later with a worldwide following. Who knew? So that radio show took me on a trajectory of being invited to countries around the world and people always asking for live workshops on spaces. So my dream from a single bedroom to manifesting my new home within 48 hours to designing a business I love that impacts people around the world helped me become more confident, happy, and invite in more clients and money. Though this masterclass on spaces, it empowers those that also want to create a life of happiness, abundance, and freedom through a step-by-step program. My job is to be 100% committed to help you build your dream life. So my question for everyone here is, are you ready to commit to your success? And if it's a yes, you can type that into the chat because I'm here for those of you that are ready. So these are just some samples of testimonials. Lisa Bennett, I listen to your show all the time. I've been decluttering now for over a year. You have given me the motivation to keep moving forward. Awesome. Lisa has a direct way of tapping into what is actually going on in our spaces and universes, and for that, I'm truly grateful. You help me see the greatness and wisdom in parts of my life I had obscured in shame I'm embracing the space of my future now. Lisa identified with turbo efficiency, may I add, along with fun vibrancy of getting me back in touch with a piece of me that I shelved for over 4 years. And she helped me recognize that I cut off a big chunk of me. This, my friends, is a value-packed presentation. So I want you to go ahead and turn off all your distractions, find a quiet space, and be present. Be present, be present, be present with yourself and your space. Breathe. Every one of you, I just want you to breathe. And let's start with truly having gratitude for your space, having gratitude for what you've created, whether it's been a bit of a shit show or whether it's been amazing. I want you to just have gratitude for where you are right now. This isn't a competition. This isn't about comparing yourself to others. Where you are is exactly where you're meant to be. And I'm so grateful for every one of you for showing up today. So Creating Conscious Spaces for Entrepreneurs program. I believe everyone can learn to communicate and listen to what their space is telling them. CCS FE program is based on learning that our spaces never, ever lie. And so once you learn the cues and messages of how your space is connecting, you will be absolutely amazed how you can shift up your life. You are going to gain a confidence with setting up your space and future spaces as a direct result of this program. And once you know you have done something that is in alignment with your desires, you will begin to recognize the change you will feel in your life. So people in your life will see changes in you. And yes, I will say you will be happier and you will feel lighter. So right now, I want you to leave this masterclass if you don't like to take action, if you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and learn about what's been holding you back, if you're not willing to participate in learning new techniques that will include your whole space, if you think you've learned everything you need to know about spaces and have a pattern of giving up on yourself before you've even started, or you get upset when I give you 45 minutes of the strategy that has helped myself and many others generate a successful life by incorporating these techniques, and then complain when I make you an offer for an exclusive opportunity to work with me. So today's strategy, we're going to start from where you are. And those that have chosen to stay, thank you. So number one, you're going to learn the value of where you are today and where are you at in the life that you have created. You will learn the importance of your vibration, of how it translates into all areas of your life. And 3, we're going to talk about setting up your office. So for everyone that's here, I'm assuming that you are either in business or choosing to have a business. So awesome. So setting up your office so that you can go from chaos and uncertain to learning how to create a calm, clearing, inspiring office no matter where you are. So if you're ready to commit, I want you to type in the chat, the comments there, say I'm in, okay? I need to get that energy from you, feel your energy about your commitment and the willingness to participate. So type it in, guys, type in the chat. Cool. Okay. So I want you to go ahead and settle in and stick around. If you're wanting to have a happy and joyful life, if you're frustrated, entrepreneur, coach, door spaces you may have feel cluttered and disorganized. You've always been curious about how your space can actually contribute to an abundant life, and you need assistance in learning what may be blocking you, and you want to have your space aligned with what you're wanting to create in your life going forward. You require a step-by-step guide on how to set up your space for success. So right in front of you, you're going to see the system, and it goes in a circle. It's very cyclical. It's like what goes on in our lives. So let's start at the bottom. This is your space today, right here. So wherever you are, you're going to learn the areas of how to start to read the energy of your space. You're going to next list your desires, those dreams, whatever you have wanted. In order to move forward, then you take action based on what your desires are, based on what you've got messages of from your space. And there you will see transformation. And then you repeat. It's sort of as I say, everything goes around in a circle. It just does. The moon goes in a cycle, the sun goes in a cycle, the earth moves around. We have this magnetic way of choosing to create more of what we've already done, or we can shift and change things. So just like a home, you require a solid foundation. So any of you that have ever built a home, any of you that have renovated a home, you know that if you don't have a solid foundation, things will fall over. So consider the bricks you have in place currently represent an old belief system and old vibrations. In this program, you're going to replace your current foundation with new bricks. You are the trowel. So this is your trowel here that takes the action. And the mortar, which is in between the bricks, those are your thoughts, words, and vibrations, which hold the bricks together and ensure your foundation doesn't collapse. So for any of you that have created some trauma, that have created some relationships ending, not having a home anymore, moving in between homes, wanting to buy a new home, not sure if you can, don't know if you have the finances. The mortar, the thoughts, what you believe, what you think, those are old patterns. And we're going to reset those so that you can start to build up the foundation. So here's an example. I didn't know what to expect from this course, but it kind of called me, or was it my space that called me? So Lisa's weekly calls have inspired me to declutter, sort, and really shake up my office space. I've become more creative and inspired within my business, which is starting to make me more money than I've made before. So we've gotten to the nitty-gritty of her business and office space, and she gently yet firmly guides us in the calls each week, and the weekly calls are invaluable. So this individual did the course. She's just keeps going back, like from the beginning and all the way through each module. So here's an example. I don't know if how you feel when you see this, but here's an example of someone who had not recognized how much they were resisting until they photographed of their bathroom and realized that they were blocking themselves and their bodies from healing and creating a relationship. So that was sort of when they recognized, after taking a photo, what they had been creating. Here's another example. The clients on the left, you'll see that there's a cluttered, chaotic office to creating an organized system that is focusing now on a thriving business and life. So where are you at in your physical space? What have you made wrong with your space? Did you notice anything that consistently occurs? And do things consistently break down, require maintenance? Does it seem that nothing's ever working? And do you have more bills than money at the end of the month? Do you complete projects, or do you have a lot of them going on at once? And is each room in your house in disarray or a little bit messy? If you could wave today a magic wand, what would you like your space to look like in 1 hour? Could you imagine just like a magic wand, you wave it, and in 1 hour, what would you like your space to look like? Go ahead, type it in the comments. Okay. So this, my friend, is your space speaking to you, as it is always picking up your current thought, words, vibration, and mirroring it back to you. So just like in the bathroom, lots of bathrooms have big mirrors. That creation of what was going on in that individual's life was getting mirrored back to them. Mess, chaos, disarray. And they couldn't figure out why there wasn't a new relationship, why things weren't happening in their business, why the business was getting stuck. Well, the mirror was reflecting that back to them. So we let things go, which will give you space for more creation. So here's from overwhelm. This client took everything out of their closet and created an organized system. They were losing clothes and wasting time looking for an outfit every single day. So before I went out on my own, and this is after a 28-year marriage, I want to take you back to the year of 2013 when everything ended and I was first divorced. I had no self-confidence. I was scared. I wondered what I'd offer to the world was actually going to be of value. I had a dream to teach others about the value of their space, but I had no plans. I had taken on projects for friends over the years, but it wasn't a full-time business. I questioned myself daily if I was helping and inspiring people. And everything up to that point in my life was built around my friends, my children, family, and writing articles on feng shui and doing some small classes on spaces. I never imagined that I could impact people outside of my circle, let alone worldwide, and I've done this in many languages. I had severe doubt about my ability to succeed, and I was also in massive debt, wondering how I was ever going to recover. So I'm going to ask you, does this resonate with any of you or where you're at in your life? Sad, scared, frustrated, alone, unmotivated, loss of confidence, stuck, poor health, relationship challenges, inconsistent with money, unsure of the direction of your career, and needing a community that desires more in their lives. As I mentioned before, my new home found me. And when I said I was ready, I literally, the space from the moment that I said I was ready, it showed up within 48 hours. Wow. Now, I'd written a list of what I desired in my space a year prior, and I put it in a drawer. And that manifested when I said I was ready and my body was ready and I was ready to receive, boom, 48 hours. I was in massive debt, scared, and knowing that I first had to find happiness for myself before creating business that I loved that would support my dreams going forward. I wish I had had a mentor to guide me through the challenges of becoming an entrepreneur and shorten the time it took me to become successful. Today, I have been able to inspire others like yourself who have also gone through challenging times and to let them know that I'm there for them as they can have joy, peace, and abundance. I'm incredibly passionate about sharing the techniques I use that has created massive change for myself and my business and life. So please say yes in the chat if any of you, if this resonates with any of you, say yes. So some common thoughts that people have had, such as yourself, when we met, these are some of the common thoughts that they've had. Will this work? I have a lack of focus and direction. I get bogged down with distractions. I feel overwhelmed. I'm feeling stuck with what to do next. Lisa, I want to create more money. I want to grow my business. But I have this shiny object syndrome where I get attracted to lots of different things. So therefore, I have too many fingers and too many pies. How many of you got that? You build other people's businesses and watch them succeed and not focus on your gift. Not believing that you can go out and do it on your own and thinking that just making enough is all you'll ever do while watching others do well. So the secret to your success, my friend, is always hidden within your space. I've watched thousands of people go out and create success for other businesses, and they forget what their true gifts and essence are. And that is always within your space. So how is this program laid out? First, we review your history and your current story. Then we talk about the elements of what you desire. And then we map out your whole space. And that's where you take photographs and you draw your space and you share it. Then we unravel all your beliefs and blockages and we get you realigned with your vibration. We teach you how to connect to your home and relationships. And then there's a correlation between your health, your home, and your body and how they all communicate. Wealth, you'll learn a whole new way of creating. And with business, you find out if you're open or closed for business. A lot of people here, they are working on their businesses, but they're not necessarily open for business. So their space will say, yeah, you're not open. You're not actually ready to receive clients or new business or new ideas. And so if you imagine your arms being crossed, that's a closed body language that many of you recognize when you're talking to somebody. But when somebody's arms are uncrossed, you recognize that they're actually willing to receive and listen, right? It's the same with our spaces. So we redesign and incorporate what you learn about your conscious space, and we rebuild all the rooms within your home and the spaces based on all of the above. Action is ensuring that you take action and it's aligned with what you're wanting to create for your future. And then we follow up during transitions and challenges and on weekly calls. And follow up, sometimes you might go through some challenge and you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm starting all over. No, you're moving forward. Everything, all the uncomfortableness is getting you closer to this massive, incredible creation. And then you have a toolbox, your ongoing reference. So when I say you start from where you are, from the moment you join, you're engaged with this group. You will be willing to take photos and share it in our private Facebook group, and you're not alone. Photos are a powerful visual to assist you to what you haven't been willing to see yet. And the photos that you'll see here that are showing up are many of what I've worked with people in the group and around the world. Know you will gain insight and inspiration and follow the step-by-step action plan immediately. And it only gets better. So today, these are some great questions to ask yourself. Where am I at with my space today? So you're going to like, where am I? Where am I at with my space today? Like, what's going on? Am I happy? Am I excited? Or am I embarrassed? Like, what's going on? How am I? It's a great question to ask. How am I today? How is my business? Like, truly ask, how is your business? Your bank account will tell you. Your booking of clients will tell you. And what are you aware of? So what have you concluded that is preventing you from creating a greater business? And what would I like to create? So again, we've watched many of you build other people's businesses, but what are you actually wanting to create in your life? Does it include all these other businesses, or does it actually include what you would like to create? No matter how bizarre your business idea is, trust me, you can make money doing it. Now, if I could fast forward your life in 1 year, where would I like to be, or what would I like to have? So this is a great question to ask. In 1 year, where would you like to be? And so what am I aware of that is distracting me from focusing on my business? We have lots of distractions: children, pets, friends, family, sometimes clients, right? What have I concluded that isn't possible? All these thoughts, all these beliefs, that's a vibration that you take into your space, and your space is listening every minute, every second of every single day. And so we're going to switch that, right? So here's an example of a couple of offices that got transformed. So you'll see here was before, and here is the after. Here's a before, and here's an after. So from unfocused to magical spaces, going from chaos to peace, calm, and consistent creation. So once you begin to unravel and declutter, yes, the famous word declutter, old beliefs, patterns, habits, thought processes that have been reinforced and mirrored by your space, your world will open up for you magically. Absolutely. So are you ready to do the same? So give me a ready in the chat. By having a blueprint like this at your fingertips, imagine where you could be in less than a year. And I want you to consider this your action pass. Going forward, there's action that we're going to have you take. Okay. I'm glad that you're still here because this is where we start to see some action. Okay. So we'll do a deep dive into all the items in your space, out with the old to create the space for your life. And you'll see, amazingly, no matter how small of a space you live in, it's amazing what we start to hold on to. Okay, so one of the techniques we have everyone do in the beginning is inventory all the items room by room. So you'll go through furniture, artwork, mirrors, lights, windows, doors, carpets, clothing, and whatever else you've got. This, my friends, is one of the most time-consuming and yet rewarding exercises to truly see where you're at with all your stuff. So how many pots and pans do you need? How many kettles do you need? How many coffee cups do you need? Simple things, but wow, impactful. Are you drowning in stuff? Do you have enough space? Or do you believe that you have enough space? Do you lack storage? Are there places that you've forgotten about in your home? So I want you to go room by room systematically to see where and what you've been holding on to. This is the beginning of getting to unravel what's been holding you back. Of course, in the program, we go into this more in depth, but for you to even get the awareness, it's, oh my gosh, I have broken items. I have things that I've been holding on to for others, storing for others. Wow. How fun is that? So here's an example of shifting things within a space that helps attract the type of life and business you desire. So before and after, there's a lightness in the space. There's light and a creation and just a couple of things being shifted. So a great technique I get my clients to do is to photograph each room. I mentioned that earlier. Each room in your house tells a story. So always begin at your front door and move from room to room. So is there a room that you avoid? Is there a room that you pile all your stuff in? And when we hold on to items that do not align with the future you're wanting to create, you are keeping yourself stuck. The greatest gift you can give yourself is to not ignore, but to finally see your space. So whatever you choose to resist, you will create much more of. And if you thought of each room as a mirror, then you can imagine it's reflecting back to you. Whatever you see is showing up and getting magnified. So think of it as a big magnifying glass. How cool is that? So you can have mirrors work for you, or you can have mirrors remind you of why you are stuck. So I want you to imagine that each room in your home has a job. And is it aligned for you today? So as you've walked through and photographed each room, I now want you to imagine that I, myself, Lisa, the Space Whisperer, I've arrived at your front door, knock, knock, and I'm coming to visit you. Your front door is your calling card. If I can't find your door, or if I'm having to step over things, right away, it's telling me you're not even open for business. You're not even willing to receive. So your front door is the space where you're going to receive everything. Even if you work from your home, there's an energy that goes out into the universe that says, I'm here or I'm not. I'm hiding myself. So you've got to be willing to be seen. And is it an attractive front door? So, okay, depending on where you are in the world, we have different seasons. You can still make your front door look really attractive. The hallways in your home are like arteries in your body. Are they clear or are they congested? And the stairwells are also like arteries. So how easily can you move up and down, or are they piled with things? Your living room is the place to entertain, meet, and welcome people. So is it available? Like if I knock on your door, can I walk easily into your home through your front entrance without tripping over things and sit in your living room and have a great visit with you? Or is it just full of toys, stuff, books, whatever? Okay, the kitchen is the place where you create health and nurturing for your body and abundance for everyone in the home. So is it dishes in the sink? Do you have an excessive amount of food that's going bad? How many of you have gained weight and are wanting to eliminate weight? So there's a lot of history about what's going on in the kitchen. And actually, the kitchen is aligned with abundance. It's all related. The dining room, I know over pandemic was used for a multitude of tasks. Is it ready to receive guests right now? Could you have a dinner party right now? The bathrooms are places where your body eliminates toxins and cleanses itself. Again, is there room on the countertop or is it full of stuff? Do you have a system in place so that things can be put away? Bedrooms are the spaces where we finally relax. We rejuvenate, we rest, we heal, we sleep. Are you sleeping well? Chances are you're full of EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. Within the program, we teach you how to read your space. And is it overly cluttered? Do you hang up your clothes at the end of the day, or are you just piling them up in your bed? And finally, where your office is, where you honor your work, your clients, and invite in more business. So what does your office look like today? Is it actually welcoming people, or is it just full of chaos, paperwork everywhere, no systems in place, a pile of bills that talk to you on a daily basis? Pay me, pay me. Do you have enough money? Don't have enough money. Oh my God. So all of these thoughts and vibrations are being thrown out into your office space, which your clients will pick up. So here's an artist. She's in our program. She's phenomenal. She has systems that she created. So this was the before over here on the left. And now she can focus on her art without being distracted. How beautiful is that? So dark cabinetry to light cabinetry. Everything about it feels happier and calmer. So here's another client. A visual clutter is one of the ways we create blockages. So immediately walking into this kitchen, all you could see is everything was talking to you. And you were wondering, how do I sort of peacefully create a meal to enjoy with everyone? So once we removed and reorganized and created some systems for everything in this office or this kitchen, all of a sudden this individual started to recognize that the relationship was improving and there was greater health for the home. This is a happier life. How beautiful is that? So a joyful, happy, abundant life is challenging if you are not including the space that you reside in. You do not have to design or have a design degree or have studied a modality like feng shui in order to start listening to what is no longer working for you. Everyone here, my friends, has the ability to change things up in order to create the life they've always wanted. So, as I mentioned before, the first step is setting up a strong foundation that supports your life. Number 2, we go into mapping your space. Number 3, learning how your space communicates with you. And we learn that by photographing, starting to see what has been blocking you. And then we start to build up our health, wealth, and relationships. We design your office space for your business. And then we get you into planning for the future and having fun along the way. Always having fun. So when we start with your vibration and your foundation, magic starts to occur. So I want everyone right now just to close your eyes. This is something that I love to do. And get into a relaxed space and just breathe, okay? Just breathe, relax, wherever you are. And I just want you to imagine today you're in a rental. Maybe it's this place that you went to in the world and you rented it and you're sitting there and you're going, oh my gosh, I see the ocean. There's a warm breeze. And I've always wanted to own a home just like this, but you've concluded that it was never possible given the direction of your career or what's been going on. But I just want you to imagine as you're sitting by this beautiful space, this beautiful ocean, relax. I want you now in this imagination to fast forward 1 year later. You're in a solid relationship. You no longer are renting or have a roommate or are sleeping with a mattress on the floor. You've manifested this dream home and you don't have to share it with others. The price tag of the home is irrelevant. It's exactly where you've always desired to be. Oh, You feel that breeze from the ocean, smell that tropical, fresh feeling after a little bit of a rainfall. You hear the birds, the tropical birds. Your business is thriving. Your intimate relationships are improving. You feel healthier. You have more energy. You're having way more fun in life. And you're not playing with this energy of lack, because guess what? You're in your dream home. There's no more lack in your life. And you recognize, you reflect back, but you don't look back in the sense of pulling yourself back. You reflect on what you have held yourself back with. And you recorrect yourself to always be in alignment with everything that you've ever desired. Breathe. Have gratitude for this magical creation. Maybe it's in the mountains. Maybe it's in a forest. Just imagine what this is like. I want you to go with that energy, okay? So here's somebody that was reminding herself that the space was always listening, that she could receive from her space. It was fun to declutter and take action and let go of things that no longer had use of anymore. And yes, I do keep you going. I'm a bit of a cheerleader. So anybody that knows me, I do cheer you on and I will push you. And that this person was so amazed that every week I was connecting, and that every time they looked forward to creating bigger things, creating way more money, they created a beautiful relationship with their home, and that they were choosing to move to a new space. So when we're in gratitude with where we're at, and when I was living in that little tiny space at my friend's home, every day I was so grateful for the healing of my beautiful body and for the beautiful space that I was having the privilege of being in, because I knew that my dream space was on its way. It was there. I just had to be willing to let it go. All my thoughts, all my judgments about myself and what I could create. And all of a sudden things started to magically manifest and show up. So I didn't quite know what to expect from this course, but it kind of called me. Or was it the space that called me? So this business, she started to make more money than she'd made before. And I had a way of getting to that individual's nitty gritty of what her and her business and her office required. So I gently, firmly guided her in the calls each week. She says the weekly calls are invaluable. So for those of you that have ever been studiers of space, maybe you're an architect, maybe you're an interior designer, or maybe you've never studied anything around spaces, but you have a curiosity. You're exactly where you need to be, because trust me, your space has invited you here. I wanted to do a little bit of a comparison about ancient practices of feng shui, vatsu, and geomancy. All of them have a correlation between each other. They're all based on energy, number one. Feng shui is based on geographic conditions. Vatsu is a scientific study of architecture and space, and geomancy is based on the divination of the earth, okay? Following energetic flow in feng shui, based on, and this is a 4,000-year-old practice, wind, water. So imagine 4,000 years ago, where you live in the world didn't have all of these massive sky rises, apartment buildings, businesses, traffic, people, cars. It was a completely different landscape. And so when you work with a 4,000-year-old practice and try to bring it into what we are today, there's a lot of things that don't necessarily line up, right? Vatsu, when you're building, it's based on right down to 1/8 of an inch position of when a home is being built based on Vatsu. And that can be challenging based on the land and the landscape, etc. So there can be some challenges there. That's an 8,000-year-old practice. So in feng shui, there's 8 defined areas. In Vatsu, there are also 8 defined areas, okay, or directions. Every one of them uses objects to raise the energy. Objects can be, for example, mirrors. can be an energy, raising the vibration, or it can be something that manifests more and more of what you don't want, okay? All of them bring in the elements of earth, fire, wind, water, and space. And with Vatsu, it adds positioning. So when we're talking about positioning, again, down to the 1/8 of an inch about where something is located. And then Feng Shui has a set of rules, yay. And Vatsu is based on the magnetic fields of the sun and moon. Okay. Now, geomancy, it studies the topography of the earth. So we live in this beautiful planet. And in ancient times, they used a chart, and it can be used the stars and the astrology. And I know a lot of you love that. And trust me, I love looking up at the stars and the moon. And we're all affected by the magnetic flow of Mother Earth, right? So there's a 6-figured chart, 16-figured chart to interpret. And the I Ching, the 8 trigrams, it was based out of Africa and Egypt. They use sand, and all studies relate to the earth. So why am I telling you all this? And what does that have to do with you creating success? Oh my God, Lisa, you do not have to learn all this. Trust me, because you might be going, okay. All I'm saying is that all of this has been incorporated into all these practices. Now, what I haven't mentioned here is in this column, the second to last column on the right, EMF stands for electromagnetic frequencies. My friends, this is so incredibly powerful to learn this. There are natural electromagnetic frequencies, which are way down into Mother Nature, into the deep crevices of the earth. So there could be an underwater spring that is a mile down, that if you were sleeping in your bedroom and it was over that particular area where there was an underground spring, that vibration that comes up gets magnified until that person who is sleeping on that bed does not get a good night's sleep, is coming up with all forms of cancer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And perhaps people within that home consistently are dying. So that's natural. Then we have man-made, and many hospitals, hotels, and schools rent the space on the roof, and they put these towers up, which they get rental fees for, so they make money, not thinking the places like a hospital or a little children in a school or a hotel where there's a large group of people, those bodies are getting affected. So the cells get disrupted in the body. They create health challenges. And then we teach in the program techniques to deflect that and educate how you can live a safe and healthy life within your space. You are surrounded by electromagnetic frequencies from your neighbors, from the underwire lines, underground and overhead power lines. So creating conscious spaces for entrepreneurs encompasses all these practices. I honor them all and recognize them, but I don't want you to get stuck on one thing. We follow the energy of your land, your space. Every client is different. We don't have one set of rules. We use the land, the past, the present, and the future of what you can create. And it's an easy system to apply. I'm taking the guesswork out of it. And you can begin right away. Your client, as in you, can transform your space right away. So why is this program so successful? Ultimately, clients who engage in this private Facebook group and community in the live weekly calls in our group are seeing results. And yes, you will take photographs, and yes, you will draw out your space. Successful participants in this program consistently, they take action, they follow through on weekly input, engage in the private Facebook community, ask questions. So if you're not asking questions, and we will address your questions at the end of this webinar. So please type in your questions. If things are coming up for you as what I presented just previously, please type your questions in, because I will address every one of them today. You're open to changing things up and are willing to let things go. Review what might be blocking them and are open to the process. And listen, You might hear me say something 10 different ways, and it might be the 11th time you go, oh my God, I didn't realize that's what I was doing. And I had somebody in the program for over a year, and finally she went, oh my God, I didn't even realize I wasn't willing to do this one tiny little thing. And when she did it, it was a huge shift in her home and her space. So where do you place your office? So this is a quick example in the program. What type of desk should I buy? Desks to buy in a budget. Systems to incorporate for maximum benefit. And what to place on my walls. What are the best chairs for comfort and support? And is there a direction I should face? And do I require a dedicated space? These are all questions that are typically asked in the program or over the years in any of the workshops I've done. Okay, so the offices that are successful typically are located in a place that allows the person to see the door. That's not having your back to the door, it's seeing the door and the window and have an unimpeded access to a clear desk, not a desk full of paper. Oh my gosh. If I could take a photograph of all of your desks today, I'd love to see what's there. Solid wooden desks are best. And I'll tell you why. Because the wood is the element of Mother Earth. It's like a tree. So you go into a forest and you see those trees that have been around for 1,000 years and they have the roots in the ground. Wood has this grounding energy. It's great. It's brilliant. I know some of you want the glass desk and the metal desk because they're funky and cool, but metal desks attract electromagnetic frequencies, which run through your body, which creates this disruption in your cells and healing and all of that. Whereas wood is this natural. Have you ever hugged a tree? It's that energy. You're surrounding yourself with this beautiful energy of Mother Earth, okay? So having inspirational words or art or things that remind you of why you're doing what you do, place behind you as well as in front. So behind me on my wall, I have Changing the World One Space at a Time, and then I have some inspirational paintings and artwork. Chairs with a solid back support you in your business. And it's literally saying, hey, I've got your back. We're good to go. You want your business to have your back. You want your desk to be direct, and it allows you to see your main door in your office. So sometimes people have a couple of doors in their office. It's always the main door where people travel to and from. And you want a dedicated space within your home. I know many of you have apartments, and maybe you don't have a dedicated room because you have lots of people staying within the apartment, whether it's family members. Find a dedicated space and you can screen it off with plants, bookshelves. You can create this magical space for you. Always ensure, though, that you have a solid wall behind you that has got your back, got the back of your business, and that you're able to see how you enter that particular space that you've made as a dedicated space, because it allows you to honor your work and not get distracted by all the other things. So one of our longest standing participants in this program, she had been unhappy in her career as an art teacher and was working long hours, not getting paid, but just still was working weekends, evenings. She wasn't getting compensated for her expertise, and no one knew that she was actually an architect by trade. She had taught some small workshops on weekends, dabbled in some renovation projects, but didn't have enough time to focus on her own business. Fast forward to today. She's gone out on her own, has invited larger and inspiring projects with people's homes, and recognizing that, yes, I'm a very good architect. She's changed up her space. She has gained confidence. She is now charging for her worth and expertise, and she is way more happier and having fun. Yay. Cool. So many times the transformation is felt by everyone within the family. So know that your action does inspire others to take action. So here's a comment where I was taught to categorize our belongings so that we know where they belong, where to put them, and what we are to do with them. She helped us put a system in place that makes sense and is easy to use and maintain. Her husband asked her this in the morning to be his Lisa, to help him let go of something he no longer uses. And trust me, when I met with this client, it was only with the wife, but the husband was like, wait a minute, I want to listen to what's going on. And he bought into like, let's move, let's shift. So if you're in a relationship, never assume that what you're creating and doing, that your partner is not willing to also shift and change. So how cool is that? So how many of you have been waiting for someone to come along and save you? Oh, stop waiting and get yourself to do you. This is about you, my friend. It's not about taking care of all the other people in your life. It's about you. So you can choose to be at the top of the mountain and stop waiting. I choose to be at the top of the mountain. So I hope that this is a choice that you're choosing to make. So here's your vibration. If you're wanting to vibrationally align your space, you have to change the language you use within it. So have you ever found yourself to say, oh, I'm tired? Are you angry? Are you disappointed? Do you say, I'm sick and tired? Are you saying you're frustrated? Do you wake up reminding yourself of what you haven't yet done? Like all the things that you didn't accomplish from yesterday, and you go, oh my God. And that's how you start your morning. Do you even like where you live? Do you say, oh, I wish I lived this place? And oh gosh, I wish I didn't have this home and I don't like it and blah, blah, blah. Do you judge where you're at in life? Just those vibrations and those thoughts all lower the vibration in your space. So whatever emotion, whatever thought, whatever you're vocalizing or even thinking, that lowers your vibration right here. This is where you're at, low vibration. So guess what you're bringing more of in your life? Yep, definitely more of that. So how do you increase your vibration in your space? And yes, it starts with thoughts, words, actions, how you feel. So you change what you think, you change what you feel, you change what you say internally, out loud, and you go into believing. So there's the saying called fake it till you make it. Yes, you are going to fake it till you make it. That is by saying, I am happy, I am healthy, I am abundant, I am in love with life. I love my home. I love everything. So you start to say these things and believe it. Every molecule in your body is vibrating in this belief. And you believe that everything you imagine is coming to you easily. So one of the ways I say to my clients is everything is always working out for me. I say this all the time. Of course, everything's always working out for me. Of course, things flow to me easily. Of course it does. And when you start to say that, your body is getting aligned with, oh my God, yeah, everything is working out for me. Remind yourself you're an incredible creator. People are wanting to work with you or buy from you. What you offer is unique, valuable, and desirable. So write it out, say it, feel it every morning and every evening. Write it out on some sticky notes, put it in your mirror in your bathroom, put it in your purse, put it in your car, put it in the kitchen, stick it on the fridge, wherever you want. Eventually, all those beliefs, all those thoughts, you're going to start to absorb in your body, and you're going to say, wow, I am incredible. I am wonderful. Life is fun. I'm having fun. So for those of you that are having fun in life, yay. For those of you that want to create way more, well, you're in the right place. So my question for you is, how long have you been searching for this solution in your life? And you've been looking all these other places, you've been taking courses over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. You've had zero follow-up from all the courses you've taken. So you take a course, and this is actually one of the things that inspired me to create this master program. I'd fly to a country, I'd facilitate a workshop, and then people would give me some feedback, but there was no follow-up. Like, were people actually going to take action and incorporate what they had? I know they had the recordings, I know they had a manual, and I know they could reach out to me. And so how many of you have done that? Taken a course, had the manual, had the recording, and you put the manual on your shelf and you went, well, I took the course, I got the certificate, I'm good to go. Or have you had a group where you were actually getting follow-up? How many of you need accountability partners? People that go, did you do this? Have you done it? Because I tell you, when you have that person in your life that's kicking you in the butt, I'm that girl for you. Or live coaching on a weekly basis where someone says, Lisa, all of a sudden my relationship's ended. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. And they're feeling like they're a complete mess. Not even sure if they want to show up for the live coaching, but we talk through it and we figure out what they can create going forward. So we have Facebook interaction. How many of you have interaction? When I say interaction that is valuable, as opposed to interaction where it's like how many likes and how many people like your comment, how many people are actually interacting with what you say that is of value to what you can take to your day-to-day living that is going to be of benefit to you. And live Zooms with Q&A. Just like we're here today, you're going to have Q&A at the end. This is cool. This is valuable. For those of you that are choosing to stay, you're going to benefit from this. And then 0 updates to an existing program. So in live time, as I've been working with a group of students for the last 1.5 years, I've been adding new modules into the program that they can look into, research, so that they're going, wow, I get this. Finally, I understand. So any questions bring up more ideas for me. How can I add that into the program? So my friends, the key to your success is stop doing what you've always been doing and be open to a new way to connecting in your life. You've got to be willing to shift gears. Recognize that your space brought you here today to finally listen. Your space. Yeah. For those of you that are here, it's been tapping you on the shoulder. And I'm so grateful for your spaces. So I'm sending love and gratitude to your spaces because you're like, yeah, I'm not really sure why I'm here, but somebody mentioned it, or I got an email and I thought, why not? Let's be here. So take action, follow the energy, and get out of your analytical mind. So minds are great for if you're a scientist and you're testing and, trial and error. There's no failure. It's always creating something going forward. But minds and thoughts and emotions can really screw you up and get you into this sort of downward spiral. And we saw that graph of the vibration going down. And especially if you're surrounding yourself with people that all they do is talk about all their challenges and problems. Well, be willing to be coached to a different possibility. And that's what I love to do. So I want you to keep this in mind. Everyone came here wondering what value this program could be to them. Many didn't know why they wanted or what they wanted to create today. And the majority of most successful clients who have come into this program with very few details, but they just knew they were called to join. So that's following your energy. So I know many of you here are energy workers or work with energy of some form or have a curiosity about consciousness and energy. You're in the right place. For sure you are. It's absolutely meant to be that you're here. So if you value you and your business, and what are you waiting for? I know that many of you have been on the path for searching for solutions. Well, my friends, this is your solution. Start right where you are today. Exactly. Cool. So here's a few more testimonials. Lisa empowers us to see things as normal and to see the unusual as things which can impact our lives. Unlike other programs, this requires you to follow your intuition. I am all about following your intuition. I feel total peace and serenity within myself. Once I address my childhood history and how our body habits can create challenges within our lives, that awareness totally changed that person's life. So this master program, this is not theory. Up until now, I've shared a little bit of content of this program in my live workshops. So I've worked with real estate, I've worked with bodies, I've worked with health, I've worked with abundance and money and wealth creation. I've worked with businesses, I've worked with so many different sectors of what people look at in different, and they've divided them in different sectors within their lives. And I taught individual workshops for years. Well, in the past year and a half, I've only shared within this program, the entire program, all my training and all my teachings into this private group. And every one of them that has been a part of testing this entire system have proven its results for sure. I realized that I could make a greater impact by having a program that incorporates all of my teachings. And this is what we have done here. It's time tested and proven. And today my clients are using these tools and techniques in their own lives and are seeing continued results. Not just results once, but continued. So if you're thinking I'm ready and where do I start? All you have to do is commit, focus, and take action, which you've already done by taking time up to this point to be here in this masterclass. So I've given you some powerful techniques. The photography of your space, the awareness of what you create in each room of your space, taking inventory of your stuff in your space, where you're holding yourself off. Are you willing to be seen? And it starts with the front door. So, but as you can imagine, this is just a tip of the iceberg of what you can expect to receive to up level in your life. And you have two options. You do it yourself, yay, go for it. And I'll see you in a year. Or follow a proven path. And let me show you a couple of people that chose to go the proven path, and they've been trying to do it on their own. New journey. And this is just a current one that just popped up in the last little week here. I added in my house my glory, wealthful, joyful, joyous place. I am so happy to those plants in my place. So this is a client that added some new plants, thriving plants. Thank you, Lisa, for your advice and suggestions. It created incredible shifts and changes for the energy. Plants are nature's natural filtration system. Dying plants, for those of you that try to keep dying plants alive, you're dying off an area in your life that is holding you back from creating. So this is another brand new testimonial I received in the last few days. Hi, everyone. I'd like to share my experience and journey on joining the CCS program. From doubting and being fearful beginning until now, it is completely shifted. It is amazing until I didn't think or expect about it. What I found in the journey of joining the program: she has more awareness about her life, her work, her family, body, and others. She has less fear or anxiousness or unconsciousness, forcing the creation or stress in her life. She gets total peace and calm. And it's been a very deep impact and awareness for her. She found herself where she was now a big contribution with her clients in providing service. And she got a sense and awareness about her space, where she was there, and became the energy of contribution to her place. So she created a new opportunity for herself and her husband. And then after she got into the program, she recognized that her life was changing, and she shifted very, very fast and easy and beyond what she could have imagined. So she went from giving up her house in Thailand back to the bank, which was a very emotional thing for her. Then she got a new job opportunity. And that's when she was working for someone else. And within a very, very short time, she got out of a very limited, congested space. And she moved back in her home to her hometown to recognize what did she need to do. And now she has manifested. And I'm going to say manifested. I know other people have opinions about what that word means, but she created and called in through her vibration and raising up her vibration, a space that she feels comfortable in, her family feels comfortable in. It's loving, she feels abundant, and it's easy. And in her mind, she thought it was going to take many, many months or years to be creating what she has created. But it started on the 4th of December in 2022. And today, well, when she posted it, it was February the 28th, 2 months. How amazing is that, right? I mean, awesome. That's what gets me excited when I see people finally choosing to create. So if you're smart and choose to work with me, I will put it all out there. All my wisdom, knowledge, and awareness with spaces, and have you follow the step-by-step process, and I promise you will succeed. A program of this magnitude isn't helpful if you choose to not take action. And I'm here to take away the confusion you may have encountered of how to set up your space for a life of happiness, abundance, and success. So whatever teachings you've come into this with, I will simplify how you work within your home environment for maximum benefit. I'm on a mission, changing the world one space at a time, and it starts with your space. So here's some of my dream clients that I have. My question is, are you next? Your success is our success. We are out to attract the right fit so you can have amazing results and be a part of this phenomenal group. So my question is, do you want in? Here is how the process works. So if you do, I'm going to give you a link today, and I'll put it in the chat, and I'm just going to attach it here, and I am going to share with you. Okay, cool. Yay, ready. So if you're an entrepreneur who's currently in transition, you sell a product or service, or are desiring to start a business, you're a person who has expertise in a specific area and you want to learn how to expand on that, and you know that investing in your growth and putting skin in the game, and what I mean by putting skin in the game is investing in you, your life is going to align you with a new vibration of happiness, abundance, in a community of inspiration. And people who take action right away are the ones who create success. Or is that you? Do you like to take action? So if this sounds like you, you're invited to apply to see if you qualify for a call to enroll in our Creating Conscious Spaces for Entrepreneur program. So I've set aside the next 6 days to talk to you and see if we can help. The call is approximately 45 minutes, and the intention is to understand your challenges and what you're willing to create in your life based on the information in your application, and identify how and if you are a good fit to work together inside of our Creating Conscious Spaces for Entrepreneur program. And you're going to go apply. Well, I ask a few simple questions. It's not a massive questionnaire. I ask a few simple questions so that it gets you into the place of, well, where am I? And you saw some questions earlier in the webinar that you can ask yourself. So where are you? So are you ready? Go apply now. I've put the link in the chat. And in a minute, I want you to just copy and paste in order to apply for a call with me. So the sooner you do that, the sooner you get an appointment with me, the sooner we can get you on this trajectory of success. And again, I'm handling about 5 calls a day. So you've got to apply now, because my time, I want to make sure that I give you the time that you require. So if you have applied, in the chat, just type in applied so I can see that you have applied, and you've got the link there in the chat. So any of you that have applied, I will have a look. So the more honest you are in your application, the better I'll be able to support you. So please go apply now. And I'm just going